Here is what we carried in our first aid kits on our 2022 thru hike. I had a first aid kit and Skipper had one as well. I'll start by showing you what's in mine. I use this quart Ziploc bag. Neosporin, triple antibiotic ointment, anti-itch cream, Band-Aids, all sizes of Band-Aids. We have some large ones, just a wad of Band-Aids. Then I love these sting relief swabs. And we actually didn't have that many stings.
You got to be ready for them.
But we know to be ready. Oh, well, we used probably 4 of them. But this was perfect for yellow jacket or bee stings.
I used a few out of my kit.
Yeah, so we like those. I did carry some amoxicillin antibiotic. Didn't use those at all. Activated charcoal.
Save the day.
Saved the day when Skipper didn't feel well after eating some rancid food, and took some of those the next day and laid down. Advil, cold and sinus, and then like Pepto-Bismol, a few of those tablets.
We use that occasionally. I remember giving fish some of that.
Yeah, like an emery board for filing fingernails. Tweezers, tick removal. Only one tick was attached on fish's leg, and it had been less than an hour. But we had that. Then ibuprofen. I actually had Advil PM as well. I don't have a little bag of that now. Then we started with, this is Benadryl, and I had a little baggie of Zyrtec and a little baggie of Claritin. And so we did use those when the boys kind of had some allergies, but not too much. Here's the Benadryl. I still had a lot of those left. I started off with a prescription of doxycycline. So this is if you have a tick attached, and you know, we were just on high alert.
We didn't know.
Yeah, we had no idea what it would be like looking for ticks. And so since we started June, July, August, I guess really June, July, those were the big tick months in the areas where we were in the Northeast. But once we got past that, yeah, I sent this home also.
And I remember even the locals were surprised at the low number of ticks that were out. And so not only did we only had one attached, but we really didn't see many at all. I had told the boys early on that I would pay them money if they found a tick on themselves or their brother. And so the boys were keeping a tick money tally, but it didn't get very high, thankfully. So I don't know if it was because of the drought or just a low tick year, but we didn't have to worry too much about ticks, which was good. Okay, so mine, I feel like I packed a lot of this just, and I mean, I think some of this too in North Star's kit, just being parents of boys. What I kept on quick draw was tape and Neosporin. So this is a roll of tape I bought in Great Barrington. It's got some cushion to it, and carried this for most of the trail and used well over half of that roll. And then this is probably our second roll of Leukotape. And so this was for blisters, or, I mean, it makes a good Band-Aid if you keep it on for a few days. And then my first aid kit was in this Sea to Summit dry sack. I have not opened this. I don't know what we're about to find. You're going to notice too that my organization is not quite as good as North Star's. And I'll bet there's some trash in here too. So let's see what we got.
Always got rid of the trash. Right.
I have some tape sticking stuff together. Okay, I have this is some sting relief. It's just the same stuff as a sting stick, but it's in packet form. And I did use that occasionally. I carried some like iodine tincture, and this helped a lot with a Band-Aid or something you needed to stick really well. I would swab the area with this first, and then you could put your Band-Aid on. I remember using this when the boys got a heat rash, and so it's not that the heat rash really needed this iodine, but the tape that I used after, you know, I wanted to cover it up with tape and it stay for a while. And so that was good for that. And then I think I just have a bunch of little Band-Aids in this thing. Like, I'm not really sure why I have that. What is that good for? Oh, I have some Breathe Right strips. That's like anti-snore. That was for me. I think Jasper used those a couple times. And then this is kind of my drug bag. So this is an antihistamine. I think this is Allegra. And then I have pretty much the same set of drugs that North Star has. I do have aspirin, and I brought some. This is Bisocodyl for constipation. This is a laxative. And then this is more benadryl, antihistamine. And then I don't know what this is. Oh, Loperamide. This is for constipation also. No, this is, I can't remember. This is an antidiarrheal. I had some Tegaderm patches. These were pretty good. This is where I used the iodine. So this is like a Band-Aid that just stays for a while. So I had several of those, and then I just have some moleskin in here, which actually I didn't use the moleskin that much because Leukotape was way better. There's some alcohol prep pads, some more Breathe Right strips. Okay, and then I have this giant container of Biofreeze. This is a 3-ounce container of Biofreeze, but we use this pretty regularly. So that was helpful when you have a sore muscles or your feet. So we use Biofreeze. I have some water purification tablets in here. These are for turning a dirty water bottle clean, or we could also use these if the temperature was too cold for a Sawyer. So I carried probably more of these than I needed, but this is one of those things that was handy to have in a pinch. I have a Sharpie marker. The idea for this was for marking tick bites so that you could see like when the bite grew. I don't think we really use this marker that much. And then I have, well, this really should be in my gear repair kit. This isn't really first aid. This is a tent pole sleeve with a little duct tape, Leukotape, athletic tape wrapped around it. And so I gave up on this early on. I mean, I wanted to have the tent pole sleeve, and I would just carry a full roll of that. We actually sent our tent poles home. When did we do that?
Oh, well, we got the second triplex in Duncannon. Is that
Yes.
right? Pennsylvania.
Yes, we sent the 4-man. No, we sent the 3-man copper spur home in Duncannon.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't need a tent pole sleeve after that, but it survived. And so that's I think that's all for first aid. If we had it to do over again, I think that we certainly would take tape, Neosporin. It is really good to have benadryl on hand and antihistamine. But a lot of this was kind of, you know, hiking with kids and being ready for, I mean, there were a lot more falls. Kids fall a lot. Man, fish had us worried on the north end.
Yeah, he was.
And so having first aid was, you know, it's nice to be able to fix something. Okay, I also have, I think these came in a kit. North Star had one of these. These are different size tick
I think there were
tools.
3 of them.
I only have 2.
I had 1.
I do not know why I have clear eyes. I don't remember buying this.
You carried it the whole time.
I guess that's made the journey. I did have several, some of these are in my gear repair kit. Oh, there's the little tick tool. I had several large safety pins, and those were handy for lancing blisters. I mean, they also come in handy for just hanging stuff on your pack to dry. And then I carried 2 little tiny vials of super glue. I actually tried this out before we left. I remember Jasper had cut himself on his hand, and the cut was nice and clean. So, I mean, you know, straight. So we cleaned it out and glued it shut. But I never I don't think we used any of this on the trail, but they were small enough. They come with a little screw-on cap. And then I also had a pair of, here they are. I had a pair of tick tweezers also. So mine were a little bit different, but those tweezers are for splinters or ticks, or so those were nice to have. I feel like we took a splinter or two out sometime. I think that's it. It's our first aid kit.